it was all cough medicine to put you to sleep early. Go ahead, Doc.
Okay. The following year, he helped convene the first World Zionist Congress.
Go ahead.
Moses Hess and others promoted the idea of the redemption of the soil. The rise of the Zionists or the rise of Zionism increased Jewish immigration. The first big wave started in 1881.
So they started coming in, and these are really white people, Europeans, that started now moving down into the land because they plotting this out years ahead of time. We're going to get this land. We're going to take it over. We're going to kill all these Arabs. We're going to wipe. And what you're going to find out as I go a little longer, you're going to realize that's what's really going on in Palestine. They just done with the Arabs now. They want them off the land, and there's so much money on under that land that they want to get rid of them quickly so that they can go on and get that money. Esau never changes. He's the same thief he was. Thanksgiving, same crap. They killed the Pequot Indians, slaughtered them, burned them inside their houses. That's all that's going on in this earth. You know what's going on in this earth? Everything else is a smokescreen. The only thing going on in this earth is nations slaughtering other nations, enslaving them in captivity, using them, wiping out their religion and identity, and using them for as long as they can, then either killing them off or possibly getting overthrown by them, or maybe in rare cases, giving them a piece of land. It's time for us to wake up. We don't need to be listening to the nonsense we being fed anymore. We got to go serve the gods of our fathers, and we'll be able to see clear. Go ahead, Q.
Come on, come. The first big wave started in 1881 as Jews fled growing persecution in Russia.
Right, they were being persecuted in Russia. And here's why they was being persecuted in Russia. For the same reason they was being persecuted in Germany. For the same reason they was being persecuted in Austria. For the same reason they were persecuted in all the Arab lands. Because they have an unquenchable greed. They have an unquenchable greed to overthrow. I'm not dismissing twisted. Them Arabs did a lot of damage to us, including selling daughters into slavery. Okay, so they got their bill too. Everybody gets to pay the bill. And here's what's beautiful about it. Here's what's so beautiful about it. You ever been robbed, or somebody's ever broken into your house, or you ever had a car stolen? You never forget it. It always stays with you. Like you never got justice for what happened. Here's what's so right about the Lord. He's the only one that can give you justice when there is no justice in the world. When there's no way for you to get what you're supposed to get, the Lord got a way. And what you're watching is the way. Remember what the Lord said, whatsoever. And that's what we're seeing come about. Give me a little more, Q.
After the end of one,
now the Ottoman Empire ruled the land of Palestine. They were the main ones there. The Ottomans were Arabs. Okay, some Arabs, some of them were Edomites too, but mainly they were cats turned around and ruled that area until World War I, which is so significant in what we're going through. Till World War I. Go ahead, Q. Give me a little more.
The League of Nations, precursor to the United Nations, mandated Palestine to be ruled by the British.
This is your one world order. Way before it became the UN, they were already planning on how they were going to structure the whole world so that Edomites could rule the world, so-called white people, for those of you that may not know. They were already structuring this. Almost over 100 years ago, they were planning this out. So after World War I, and for those of you, I'll make it short because I want to really get to these prophecies. But World War I came about. First of all, there was no world war before World War I. People had wars, skirmishes, battles, but World War I did something different to the world. World War I split the world into two halves, the West and the East. That's why today you hear them referred to as the West, or you hear them refer to it as the East, or the Eastern blocs, or the bloc countries. That came about in World War I. Countries, because of the weaponry and the armies, countries had to take a side. In the past, you got in a war with another country, that was y'all business. And if that country wanted to overthrow you, when finished and you was weakened, they'd come in and invade you. And that's just how it went. But World War I changed that. World War I made them have to think, yo, we can't let this happen, because what if the other side have more weapons than us and overthrows us? And that's when they started to say, yo, we got to come up with United Nations or something like that, where we don't overthrow each other, where we have pacts with one another. And that's how all of the UN came, NATO came, all of that started at that point. And it was significant because what it was the opening of the bottom pit. The minute those nations took both sides, the bottomless pit was open. I'm going to read it, but let me let Q finish.
Which included Gaza.
Which included Gaza. Go ahead. Okay. So in other words, they turned around and said, since they won the war, they said, look, we're going to take Palestine and we're going to assign the British Empire to rule over Palestine. But the so-called Jew already had his own plan to get that nation. Is that the end of it?
Nah, it's got the whole how Britain started the Arab Israel.
Go ahead, give me a little bit more. Same page, or you had to go to the next page?
No, it's the same.
Finish me on that page, y'all. Y'all bear with me a little bit. All right.
It says, before this mandate ended in November 1947, under the United Nations, a plan was laid for the Arab-Jewish partition of Palestine, the Gaza and the surrounding area going to the Arabs.
Here's why they had to make a partition. Because the only nation in modern day history to create a nation based on their race are the Israelis. You can go to any nation, you could be from any nation, and you can go to any nation, and you, many cases, can become a citizen of that nation. Very few countries, you can't go there and become a citizen of that country or live unpersecuted. But he's wanted a nation based on new identity as Jews, our identity. And so now a new kind of nation was born. And the British were trying to hold the land. You go back and look at the old footage, man, they was running in that land, creating more. They were killing British soldiers to try and get there. They were in a frenzy trying to take over this land. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Give me 1 second. All right. The Gaza and the surrounding area going to the Arabs on the day of the British mandate ended on May 15, 1948. The Arab-Israeli war began.
Yeah, they went to war because the Arabs felt violated because the Israelis